Om Ganana Antva Ganapatigum Havamahe Kavim Kavinamupamashravastamam Jyeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashrinvannotibhis Sidasadanam Om Mahaganapataye Namaha. We saw in the morning how prayer is an efficacious way to manage karma phala, results of action. Results of action being twofold, those that are immediately fructifying and immediately available, drishta phala, and adrishta. Adrishta means those that will fructify later in their own sweet time. They will ripen and their both good karma, bad karma, punya, papa, both of them, they have the invisible component. And so the prayer generates more adrishta that goes and attacks the previous adrishta waiting to fructify in the form of so many obstacles. Yesterday, I love to study. Today, I don't feel like it. this is this is an obstacle. Like this, there are so many things, so many ways, and the desire to do something, or one's goals in life, whether they be spiritual goals or even mundane ambitions in life, all of them, they get truncated sometimes or impeded by adrishta. That iteration of papa, which comes later on and slowly fructifies. So, therefore, we generate more punya to go and cut that papa. Kind of like a sci fi movie, okay? Yeah. This is how it is happening, all on the realm of the invisible. It's not on the visible realm. So, we saw how that happens and why prayer is an efficacious way of and a very practical way of removing the obstacles, whether those obstacles be Adhi Daivika, centered on God, Adhi Bhautika, centered on one's surrounding, or Adhyatmika. What is Adhyatmika? Centered on oneself. Obstacles that arise from within. So this is an important component of prayer. Consciously done, it is something which is really magical. And logically, we can explain this much, but there is so much more happening at the esoteric level, especially with the chanting of the swaras. We have the notations. Namaste Ganapataye. This is a notation. You go down, up like this. It's not that the Vedic rishis were singing song. There is some kind of energies that are generated. The energy of dispelling obstacles, the energy of healing. And in the chanting itself, there is a lot of detoxification happening. That's why we say the swaras must be very, very carefully reproduced, otherwise it can have the opposite meaning. So that's why we learn professionally from Pandits and people who know how to do this and who've been doing it, keeping the Vedas for many, many, many generations. So in the Swara itself, there is healing. Otherwise, if it is wrongly pronounced or if the grammar is disrupted, then we get the opposite meaning. Like there is a sentence in the Sri Sukta. Alakshmi hi me nashyatam tvam vrine. May all kinds of scarcity, Alakshmi means not Lakshmi, means scarcity. Lakshmi is prosperity, abundance. What is Alakshmi? Opposite of that. In fact, in the Purana, Alakshmi is the elder sister of Lakshmi. And Lakshmi means resplendent, all shining, wonderful. She comes in and just transforms the whole milieu. Lakshmi is like a wet rag. And she is just so sad all the time, very, 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 very sad. So the prayer is, you please come in, Goddess Lakshmi, leave Alakshmi outside the door. This is the prayer. We don't want Alakshmi walking inside. You please keep her there. I know she likes to hang around you because she feels so scarce and she feels like there is a lack. So, this way, we are able to embrace our own scarcity mentality by personifying her in the form of Alakshmi. There is no Alakshmi. All Alakshmi is here. I don't have, I can't afford, I don't know, I want. All this is all Alakshmi. And why me, Alakshmi? These kind of a complaint is all Alakshmi. So there is a sentence, Alakshmir me nashyatam tvam rine. I choose you, and so may all the scarcity be destroyed for me. But then, depending on what comes before, that gets elided, especially if there is a or something before that. So then most people, when they chant, they say, Lakshmir me nashyatam tvam rine. May abundance be destroyed for me. This is not, that is important. And where you breathe is also important. You can't just breathe wherever you want. Yeah. If you don't know pranayama, at least study Sri Rudram. Okay. Pranayama is easier to learn. Let me say that much. Because in Sri Rudram, a long paragraph, almost a page long, is one sentence. Can't breathe. You have to know where that breathing is, and you can't breathe where the certain syllables are split up. Gives the opposite meaning. So the chant itself dispels the obstacles. There is some way in which it has done so for many, many, many centuries, and it continues to do so even now. So this is the first component of this prayer, very sophisticated and consciously used for the removal of obstacles. The second component is getting towards getting closer to Vedanta, getting closer to the vision of no division. And here there is some another trick, magic. If you look at the 108 names of any Devata, Lord Shiva, or 1008 names of Lord Vishnu, Vishnu Sahasranama, there we find some very interesting things. We find the praise of Lord Vishnu from the standpoint of singing the glories, you are the best, east or west. This is how we say. you are you are the utmost. You are limitless. You are the embodiment of Shakti. You are the embodiment of well-being, wellness and well-being, swasti. You are the embodiment of all power. You are all knowledge. You are all pervasive. You are Sakshat Ananda. Ananda means happiness. You are all glories. This is deliberate. This is a very deliberate way. Even though it looks like this is a prayer which is reproducing the duality between the devotee and the object of devotion, here Vishnu perhaps. So even though it looks like that, really speaking, there is a trick here to include oneself. And what is this trick? So when I say you are the best, you are wonderful, you are great, who is saying you are great? The one that feels not so great. You are limitless. Who is saying that? The one that is suffering from a sense of limitations. Every which way you look, there are limitations. And there is height wise, one feels limited. Weight wise, one feels limited. Money wise, one feels very limited. My teacher used to say, I can make a very rich man poor in 1 second. How can you do that? I just ask him for a donation. And then what will he say? I don't have, Swamiji, too many expenses this year. I can't afford. Maybe we'll see next year. There is finitude, there is lack. Everywhere you go, there is lack. So the limited one says, you are limitless. The one that feels not so great says, you are great. The one that feels small, pervasive, oh, nobody listens to me, I don't have any sphere of influence, and nobody loves me, says, you are the most adorable one. The one who feels fragmented says, you are the whole. So, very interesting. So, in these kinds of invocation, which we are coming upon in this text also, Tvam Anandamayaha, Tvam Brahmamayaha, Tvam Satchidanandaha, Tvam Advitiyosi, you are non dual, and all these things which we are looking at. This particular portion is, even though it looks as though it is reproducing the duality, it's doing a lot more. There is something wonderful that's happening. When the limited jiva, the individual, surrenders at the altar that is limitless, all that is left is the limitless. The so-called limitations are included in the limitless. The feeling not so great is included in the greatness. Because the not so great one is surrendering to the altar that is great. The small pervasive is surrendering to the altar that is all pervasive. The finite is surrendering to the infinite. So the finite is gone. Limited is gone. Not so great is gone. Small is gone. All that is left is all. No more small. The one that feels God is gone. The one that feels odd is gone. All there is God. So this way, there is a subsuming of one's identity at the altar that is infallible. In fact, that's what is the definition of Ishvara. That which is infallible is Ishvara. Don't say it the other way. Ishvara is infallible, it's a setup. And you know why it's a setup? As long as my desires are fulfilled, yes, Ishvara, wonderful, great, infallible. And the moment Ishvara says no to any desire that I have, then Ishvara is fallible. When we switch it the other way, it makes much more sense. And it's a sane way to look at the world and one's place in it. Wherever wherever I encounter something that cannot be altered, that is Ishvara. That is the infallible is Ishvara. And this is how we look at it. And at the altar of the infallible, I lay down my own foibles and fallibility. The one that is full of guilt lays down the head at the feet of that which is free of guilt. The one that is extremely sad lays down the head at the altar of Ananda. So even though it looks like there is nothing in common between the devotee and the altar of devotion, actually, the altar of devotion is so vast and so huge that it includes one's finitude, and it in fact drowns it out, because that finitude is an as though superimposition on that same Satchidananda, which Ishvara is, which you are, due to self-ignorance. And so therefore, after chanting the something like the Vishnu Sahasranama, one naturally feels good. because the altar that is infinite. Here I am. My own limitations are included. In fact, they are cleansed. I'm cleansed of that. All I see is the limitless. All I am invoking is that which is infallible, which is perfect, which is whole. In fact, it is all the things that I want to be. That's why it's called an altar, surrendering to which one's perceptions or misperceptions are altered. It alters one's misperceptions. It's very, very nice. And that is where we are looking, that is the portion that we are coming to here. So, Tvam Vangmayaha, Tvam Chinmayaha, we saw. Tvam Anandamayaha. Again, the suffix Maya means you are the embodiment of Ananda. And what am I? A little beggar of Ananda. Give me, give me, give me. Give me a little more. And this is the sentence in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Asya Anandasya Sarvani Bhutani Matram Upajivanti. It says that this Ananda, the altar that is Ananda, this Ananda alone, of this Ananda alone, we partake little morsels, little specks, little pieces we take in. Cake Ananda, and what else? This movie Ananda, mall Ananda, Yogananda, why not? It gives, let's talk about nice things. Yeah. Vidyananda, Yogananda, whatever it is, those are all small portions of the same Ananda. This is important because otherwise we make a mistake thinking that Ananda is something else which is not at all experienced outside of the range of experience. If it's outside of the range of experience, how can I long for something that I do not know? You don't long for something you don't know. If you don't know that something exists, how can it become an object of yearning and desire? It cannot. So Ananda means I must be familiar with it because I am an Ananda hog. So I want Ananda everywhere. That means what? I'm familiar with it. So that's why the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, this Ananda alone, that which the Lord, that Satchidananda which is manifest as the Lord, free of all limitations. This Ananda alone, a small morsel of it, we keep eating, we keep experiencing. No, but I want all. Gain this knowledge, that's all. Gain this knowledge, free of obstacles, and then that is what it is. It's not some Ananda that is unfamiliar. It's the same Ananda. So Tvam Anandamayaha, you are embodiment of Ananda. And then Tvam Satchidananda, you are Satchidananda, you are the source of all existence. We have seen this, so I'm going a little faster. You are the source of all existence. You are a conscious, sentient being in which rests all kinds of knowledge. And then that which is free of all limitations. Ananda must be here translated as Ananta, free of limitations. In fact, as far as the Upanishad goes, Ananda and Ananta are synonyms. Ananta means never ending, limitless. How come they are synonyms? They are synonyms because we don't have an understanding of Ananta. Ananta, endless. Our idea of endless is half an hour. So you say, I have been endlessly waiting for you. We don't have a concept of eternity. We don't have a concept of endless. But we have a concept of happiness because it is experiential. And that's why the Ananta in the Upanishad is converted to Ananda so that we get a grasp of what is being talked about. So, from Anandamaya, from Satchidananda. Satchidananda means you are limitless. You have who has no limitations. You I invoke. Advitiyaha asi. You are without a second. This is important because uh, without a second means non-dual. You don't say you are one. One can become half, can become quarter, and you can have endless fragmentations. So therefore, you are without a second, you are non-dual. One that is non-dual. That's what you are. Non-dual means there is not even a separation between thought, thinker, and process of thinking. It's all one, the one who understands that thought is dependent upon that consciousness. The status of the thinker is just a morphing, as it were, of that consciousness, which is free of being thinker. The process of thinking is also an as though morphing of that consciousness, which is free of being a pramana or a means of knowledge. So, thought, thinker, means of thinking, all these are superimpositions upon that consciousness, that awareness, which is free of all superimpositions. Just like the ocean, if we see three waves on the ocean, you can say one is thinker wave, another is thought wave, and the third one is the means of thinking, means of knowing wave. All these three waves are what? They are nothing but the ocean. The ocean has as though morphed into wave number one, wave number two, wave number three, without losing anything, without having any effect at all. Same way, this consciousness appears as the thinker, and there is no time lapse here. There is no time, it is simultaneous because it is limitless. This is Ananta. Because it is limitless, it can simultaneously appear as the thinker and the thought without being either. Because it is everything, it cannot be any one thing. Very beautiful it is. And so I invoke Ganapati in this manner, the one who sustains everything, and the one who is everything without becoming any one thing. Tvam Satchidananda Dvitiyosi. And then finally, Tvam Pratyaksham Brahmasi. You are the only Brahman that I can understand and know, because I really don't know what Brahman is. And I do not know Brahman as myself. I'm still on the way of understanding this. I do not know. So all I know is you in this manner. Pratyaksham means Sakshat. I know you directly. Aksham, Aksham Prati. I know you directly. I know you as an embodiment of Brahman itself. This is something which is common in all the Vedic prayers. In the Taittiriya prayer, we have Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi. Same thing here. Here, there, Vayu. That Vayu which you can just feel with the hand, the wind. You are the only Brahman I know. And the same thing here. Hey Ganapati, you are the one that I know, and you are Brahman. Then Tvam Jnanamayaha Asi. You are the embodiment of knowledge. Here, the ontological understanding of knowledge as that which is all knowing in general. Just like you are all knowing. You know, I am not all knowing. What do you mean you are all knowing? Suddenly you just bring in these sentences. I'm not all knowing, I'm small knowing. Most of the time I don't know where I am. And then you're saying I'm all knowing. You are all knowing. Very simple formula to prove right in this instance that you are all knowing. How? Well, will you agree that you know all the things you know? Don't be suspicious, okay? Yeah. I'm harmless. Can you see that you know the things you know? Yes. Can you also see that there, can you also, do you also know that there are many things you do not know? Yes. So now let us look closely at the definition of the word all. All means the things I know plus the things I don't know. So if I know the things I know, and if I know the things I don't know, that I don't know them, that means I'm all knowing. Sarvagya. So easy Vedanta is. Yeah. And who is Ishvara? Sarvagya. All knowing. Sarvam janati iti sarvagya. All knowing. So this is so all knowing in general. Okay. This is enough for us. But for Bhagavan has to know more. Bhagavan has to know all languages. And Bhagavan has to know all cultures. Bhagavan has to know so many things. Here, only you have to know anatomy, physiology of human being. Imagine Bhagavan. Bhagavan has to know anatomy and physiology of all creatures. Everything. This is, we call it Sarvavit, not just Sarvagnya, not just all knowing, but Sarvavit means all knowing in particular, not just all knowing in general. So for Ishvara, all knowing in particular. And these two aspects, Sarvajnatvam and Sarvavetritvam, both of them are highlighted through the words Tvam Jnanamayaha Asi, Tvam Vijnanamayaha Asi. Jnanam and Vijnanam are one and the same thing, really. But if they are used together, we have to look at the meaning carefully because the Veda does not suffer from the fallacy of redundancy. We don't have what is called Punarukti dosha. It's not redundant. And so there must be a meaning for that little v. Even that is not glossed over. So Jnanamayaha, all knowing in general, just like me, you can say. And then Vijnanamayaha, all knowing in particular also. All the climates in various places, every river, all the bacteria that grow in the river, all the aquatic life, everything is known. Like a magician, Bhagavan is. A magician, while doing the magic show, takes a hat, literally, and then puts the hand in the hat, and then a dove, a bird, comes out, and then it flies away. Then the next time, another bird comes out. The magician knows how many birds are there. You don't know. You are part of the audience, you don't know. And sometimes out of the hat, scarves come out. And then he has to slow down because he knows there are only 8 or 9 scarves. And even that he doesn't remember properly. But after the scarves, one more bird comes out, he is startled. Then the magic show has ended. The beauty of the magic show works because the magician is got a straight poker face and is unsurprised and unperturbed. This is Bhagavan. All knowing in every which way cannot surprise Bhagavan. You cannot surprise Bhagavan. You think, okay, I'll play a trick on Bhagavan. I'll just go like that, like a cat, and go from behind and say, boo. You can't accomplish that. Sahasrashirsha Purushah, Sahasrakshas, Sahasrapat, thousands of eyes everywhere, all knowing. Why? Because that Bhagavan is in the head, in your head, in the form of an idea. I am going to surprise Bhagavan. That itself Bhagavan is, and that itself Bhagavan knows. So therefore, you are you are in the form of that all knowing, never surprised, always shining with knowledge. Just awesome. Very, very, very nice. Then the Upanishad goes on the same way of lauding the attributes of this Bhagavan. And these attributes are something that is that resonates with me. This Jnanamaya, Vijnanamaya, there is some commonality there. And there is the powerless one gives up the powerlessness at the altar that is all power, which has the power even to erase the powerlessness. But then this section, which we are about to look at, has something extra. It has what is called a description of something called Tatastha Lakshana, a definition of Brahman from the standpoint of the one who is the truth of the Jagat, who is the source of the Jagat, the one who has who is vested with the power to create, with the power to sustain, the power to take back. This is called Tatastha Lakshana. Tatastha Lakshana means this is Bhagavan in the form of the creator, resolver, and sustainer, etc., etc., various roles, form and function. Who is this Bhagavan? What does Bhagavan do? This is Tatastha Lakshana. And then we have another definition of Brahman here from the standpoint of the characteristics, or we can't even call them characteristics, from the standpoint of something that is unchanging, inherent, unchanging. And what is that unchanging? That unchanging is called Swarupa Lakshana. Lakshana, definition. Swarupa, that which is essentially the same all the time, unchanging. So that definition we have already seen. Tvam Satchidanandaha Asi. That Satchidananda is unchanging. The definition of Bhagavan, the essential nature of Bhagavan is Satchidananda. And Satchidananda plus the power to create, plus the power to resolve, plus the power to sustain, plus all knowingness, all power, all these things. Those are attributes that come and go. The latter is also called Sagunam Brahma. Gunaihi saha vartate, that Brahman which is known to us with attributes of all knowingness, etc., etc. Then when we talk about Brahman as Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Satchidananda, it is attribute-less Brahman, Nirgunam Brahma. This is what we say. So here, this Sagunam Brahma, the attributes are described, the glories are described. Sarvan Jagadidam Tvatto Jagate Sarvan Jagadidam Tattastisthati Sarvan Jagadidam Tvailayameshyati. Now, this is very nice. So, Sarvam Jagat Idam. Idam Jagat. Aham, I, Idam. This Jagat which I objectify. Very, very important word, Idam. Idam means effect. The effect of that manifest Bhagavan, the creation is an effect. Bhagavan is the cause. The word idam is a short form for effect. Karya, used elsewhere as also, like in Purnam Adaha, Purnam Idam. Adaha means others, that. The cause is whole, limitless. And the effect, idam, this effect in the form of the Jagat is also limitless. That is what it says. So idam means that which I object, that which is subject to objectification, that which I objectify, that which I understand as something that I can that I can have transaction with. The empirical reality is all idam, 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 idam. And who am I? Aham. What do aham and idam have in common? Hmm? Nothing. Nothing. I and this Jagat, we have nothing in common. It's like saying it's like you can't say I am the Jagat. You're not the Jagat. There's a difference. You have a house, you live in the house. No, you can say my house, okay, it belongs to me. There is a possessive case you can use, but nobody says I house. Do you say I house? No. But if the walls develop a crack, oh no, you are the one who feels like a crackpot. Oh no, why is this happening? Crack is in the wall, but it is felt in the heart. Once I went with my teacher to somebody's house for lunch. And then, as you know, they opened the door, and as we were about to enter, they said, Swamiji, 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 wait, wait, wait. So I thought, oh, maybe they are bringing some water to wash the feet or flowers or something like that. No such thing. What they did was two people who, it was very huge mansion, very wealthy people. And then two people came, attendants came, and then there was a small rug there, just a carpet at the entrance, and they quickly rolled it and put it aside. And this was the first time. Usually you roll out the carpet for, but here it was opposite. It was rolled up carpet. So I was just looking. And Swamiji was looking extremely perplexed, but he was also having a little smile on the face. And then finally, he won't let all these things go. He said, what just happened over here? And the lady of the house came and said, 11 o'clock sun, Swamiji, is coming through these, what are they called? Some kind of sky windows. Sky? Skylight, yeah. So the light is coming from the sky. And then this is a very, very expensive Persian carpet. When I went to Iran, I got it. And 11 o'clock, sun comes till 1:30. So I have the people who are working here roll it up and put it aside. Not just my carpet, me carpet. Yeah. So the aham and idam have nothing in common. On a good day, you don't mistake yourself for the carpet. Even though you say people treat me like a doormat, you don't really mistake yourself for a carpet. Carpet is idam, this is aham. I am a conscious being. Carpet, insentient. This is the sentient. Insentient is just, it's a specific, what should I say, a provisional separation here in order to understand this very fact of our own confusion. So here, there is no confusion. How can I become this carpet? Not possible at all. I can't become the carpet, neither can I become the pet. Still, when people are walking the dog, I'm also taking a walk. I'll say, nice dog. And the dog doesn't say thank you. The owner says thank you, thank you, thank you. I didn't say to the owner, you are nice. I said to the dog, you are nice. Same thing. You say, nice t-shirt. Thank you, thank you, thank you. T-shirt should tell me thank you, but then the person says thank you. This is what is called the confusion. The enmeshment with all things that are not me is the cause of sorrow here. And therefore we say the effect, the Jagat, is non-separate from the cause. It is but a projection of the cause. And then here we have to use my favorite phrase. What is that? Very good. As though. Even though there is some turnover, people are coming and going, they still remember, which is very happy. Yeah, very, very happy with all of you. So proud of you. Very happy. So this aham and idam, the I and the this are never confused for one another. I is sentient, I is conscious, I is self-aware, and all this is all this whatever we use for which we use the term this needs to be objectified and brought to light by aham. Idam, in other words, depends on aham. Aham is independent of everything, including idam. This is not understood, and therefore there is suffering. And that's why there is kind of a conflation of one's identity with one's t-shirt, with one's pet, with one's carpet. And then what else is left? With one's significant other, with one's children. How can you come with me dressed like this? The parent will ask the child, the teenager. The teenager is wearing jeans which have more holes than fabric. Okay, yeah. Holy jeans. Yeah. Yeah, and they are, I talked to one teenager. I said, what's with this? No, no, this is very expensive. Yeah. It takes a lot of work to make this threadbare. And then one more pair of jeans I saw, of course, on a person. And then and this young man, I said, this, what is this? I said, this looks like it has been taken and just rubbed on the ground, and then you're wearing it. He said, aha, you're very clever. That's exactly what they have done with it. This is called distressed jeans. I said, I know why it is called distressed jeans, because it's distressing your parents a lot. This is what it is. So you are not your jeans. You are not the clothes that you wear. You are not your possessions. You are none of these things. But still there is that wrong conflation, wrong identity, wrong identification. And that itself becomes an obstacle, not just for this knowledge, even for life. This is the cause of confusion. This is the cause of sorrow. This is the cause of great, what is that? Reproduction, repeated reproduction of what we call samsara. What is samsara? Some sorrow or another. How to get out of this? That's why we have to say, Sarvan Jagadidam Tvatto Jagate, Sarvan Jagadidam Tvattasthishthati, Sarvan Jagadidam Tvailayameshyati, Sarvan Jagadidam Tvayi Pratyeti, Tvam Bhumirapo Nalo Nilo Nabha, Tvam Chatvari Va Akpadani. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaga Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you.